Hide and seek was always a favorite hobby of mine as a child. With complete disregard for location, occasion, and participants, I reveled in a chance to play my favorite game. I was always the best hider, each time feeling the ecstasy of not being found by the seeker. The tiniest nooks and crannies beckoned to me, asking to be employed as my next hiding place, and I decided not to limit myself. It became my goal to squeeze myself into places deemed too small for a human. Of course, I took pleasure in seeking as well, mostly because I knew the best hiding places and could find my opponents easily. Hide and seek was all around my most beloved pastime. However, if my parents did not feed my desire and fill the spot of my hide-and-seek partner, I partook in my own version. Hide the object and evaluate how long it took for others to find it. I enjoyed this game maybe most of all, largely because I could feign ignorance when asked the location of an object, while simultaneously torturing my sister. Needless to say, I was a bit mischievous. I began by hiding small objects, starting with my sister's necklaces and other insignificant jewelry. I coveted these potential hiding objects, similar to the way Gollum from Lord of the Rings hungered for the ring. I soon escalated into a state of accidental misplacement, in which I concealed articles of value, including the checks my sister received for graduating college. I wouldn't say these acts were a plea for attention, but I definitely elicited notice from my family. My hunger for the simple acts of hiding and seeking soon resulted in my biggest heist yet, hiding my parents' wedding rings. The idea came while standing in their bedroom, fondling the knickknacks on their wooden dresser. Side by side, the luster of the rings enticed me. When I was no longer able to control myself, I gathered the rings in my hands and began to devise my plan. I decided the best option for obscurity would be a nearby plastic sack. Picking it up, I took the next few moments to consider the actual hiding location. Should I move the rings to another room? The kitchen? What about my closet? After a little more contemplation, I decided to tuck the rings away in plain view. The bottom drawer of the dresser was the most convenient and appropriate pick, especially due to the fact that things in plain sight are less likely to be discovered. I had set up my master plan and was quite pleased with it. Hours later, I responded to the anxious inquiries of my parents. "Tori, do you know where Mommy and Daddy's wedding rings are?" my dad questioned as he entered my room. My 5-year-old instincts told me not to come clean quite yet. I responded with an innocent, "I don't know." He led me to the neighboring master bedroom where we met my mother as she was describing the last known location of the rings. "And they are right here on top of the dresser," she finished. Once again the attention shifted to me. "Are you sure you don't know where the rings are, Tori?" I was asked again. "No, I don't know," I replied. With that, my parents elicited me as part of the search party. We looked high and low for them, but the rings never showed up. Of course, I made sure of that. I recall not thinking too much about the fact that I could, and can, to this day, picture exactly where I had left them, tied up in my handy plastic sack. After searching for a time, my parents and I returned to the origin of the ring's disappearance. As I became increasingly confident that the rings would remain concealed, I watched the hopes of my parents dwindle. Not wishing to witness others' misery, I proceeded to open the bottom drawer. I watched relief and amazement flood over the faces of my parents as I unveiled their most prized possessions. Despite my slight chastisement, the people I knew as Mommy and Daddy were just glad to have what was rightfully theirs returned to them, in the end. Also contributing to this was the lack of surprise I knew was present. My parents were aware of my fascination with hide and seek. In the end, I drew the attention of my parents and even managed to obtain the ecstasy I so desired. You can even go as far as to say as I got off easy, but I can't complain. I did, after all, succeed in coagulating a pair of participants in my favorite pastime. It is quite possible that I should have modified my approach to augmenting participation, but I will forever cherish my clandestine pastime as something wholly my own. Given, I played without others' knowledge.